of the Super Nintendo boxed games, and let me know how the music audio volume level is, if it's too much or it's just fine. I want it to be background music, but don't want it to over emphasize my own voice. So I did one already. ActRaiser 2. I already put it in, but this is complete. Manual, which is tiny but colored. And then game with sleeve. Game's in good shape. So that one's in. Next one I've got in a little case thing. Contra 3 Alien Wars. Pretty certain it is complete, but we're gonna find out to be sure, because I don't want to be wrong. Ugh, I totally didn't load like I was supposed to. There we go. Contra 3 Alien Wars. I bought a bunch of Super or N64 games, and they all came in these things, so I kind of repurposed them for ones that would be worth putting them on. So I forgot about it, and I missed the opportunity to stream the new Nintendo game ARMS, which they did a hour-long test run, like they did with Splatoon. And I played it for an hour. Instruction booklet, game. Game is in good shape, really good shape, no problems. Instruction manual is great. Box is really good too, just minor corner whiteness. Nothing crazy. Hey Zerdo, how's it going, man? So Contra 3 is complete. Game box manual. I'm gonna put no blemishes because it's crisp, looks good. I'm good with that. How was your day, Zerdo? So earlier today, I went through and I finished all the NES games. I streamed for like 3 hours doing more games, and then I did all the loose NES games already. I stopped at the beginning of Super Nintendo, and that's where I'm at right now. Super Probotector, yeah, that's the European version. All right, next up is Chrono Trigger. This also got the plastic sleeve treatment. I'm certain everything is here, but we're gonna check. Oh, we should probably submit this. Contra 3 in collection, good. These are not in order. Contra should be after. What am I doing? Alright, Chrono Trigger. A bunch of extra leaflets. Poster. Map. Of course, game with case. Label is all good, very clean. And of course, giant manual with good artwork on it. Audio CD as well. I don't mind them. They do widen the size a little bit, but obviously they're meant to protect. And if I have too many on like one shelf, it actually it reduces my ability to have another game there, which is not a good thing. Since space is very the tricky part here. Glad you've been enjoying these streams, Zerdo, and Lodging Dolphin. It's fun to do, and it's more fun when I've got people to share it with. Because this would be a pretty slow task to just do silently in a room, alone. I mean, I could have music going, obviously, which would make it not all that bad, but... Game Box Manual. I'm going to give it the No Blemishes award. Everybody's there. There's another good one. I don't know why I had Chrono Trigger and Contra mixed up, but that is fixed now. Alright, next one up is Donkey Kong Country. This, I do believe, is the original one that I had back in the day when Donkey Kong Country first came out. Also one of the few games that are green and have art actually on the sides versus just the straight black and game name. Side and related material, coins, stamps, slot cards. Good question, Zerdo. This might sound a little strange, but at this point, I mean, what does sound strange based on what I do? But I do collect sugar packets. I've collected them for a long time now. I got all the manuals here. Sugar packets were some I collected from when I was younger, and they're free. And a lot of places, restaurants, places around the world, all have kind of like customized sugar packets. So it's kind of like the idea of collecting matchbooks or something like that, but much more easy to find nowadays. I mean, unless you're going to bars. Hey, alright. So, but somewhere around the middle of my life, we had left my grandma at home to watch over the house while we were away for whatever reason. And she was there alone, so she spent a lot of time cleaning, because that's what grandmas do. And as it turns out, she found the shoebox I had where I kept all my sugar packets. And then she went through and individually opened up every single one and poured it into our like kitchen's sugar container. So I basically lost, 15 plus years of collecting sugar packets from all over the world. But I've continued collecting since then. I also like to collect any movie tickets, movie stubs. When I go to a movie, I like to hold on to those. Game Box Manual. I'm going to give it the good to go. It was sad to lose them because it's not so much all the time that I have sugar packets that are just interesting to look at from all over the world. Sometimes they have a little deeper meaning than that too. Like I got when I was younger, my mom went to New York because I have an uncle, her brother lived there, and she went there and she visited the. Now, you probably don't know this, but there's a late night show host, David Letterman, who used to host late night TV. He doesn't anymore. But back in the day, one of the things that he did commonly is he went down to the local, a local delicatessen. I can't remember the name of the place, to be perfectly honest, anymore. But it was two guys that ran it, and they became famous just because of the skit there. So they went to visit that restaurant, and they got sugar packets from there. And although they weren't anything special, they weren't they were just a regular basic sugar packet, I wrote on the tab where it came from, so I'd always remember where some of these came from. If they were generic but they had a good meaning to them, it was nice to kind of keep them that way. So sometimes it's more than just the collection, it's the remembering where they came from. Next up is Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy Kong's Quest. This one is not one I had growing up. This was a later pickup. And to say the least, the manual is not in good shape, but it exists. Ever so gently. I would not want to thumb through this all too hard. It probably would fall apart. I most definitely have a lot of sugar packets from my Asia travels. One nice thing is when you collect sugar packets, but the game's in very good shape. And the box is okay. It's got some creases in it, but all in all, it's not bad. The nice thing about collecting sugar packets, and if you've collected them, I'm sure you recognize this, is that sugar packets are free. So if people know you collect sugar packets, usually when they travel, they see them and they'll remember to grab some too. So not only do I have a bunch from myself, I have a bunch from other people traveling too, which is great. But I do have a lot from my travels to Asia. After a while, you visit a lot of the same places. I visit a lot of the same places when I go there, so I kind of hit a capacity unless I go somewhere new as to what I've got that's new for me to collect. Donkey Kong Country 3, cart's in great shape, box is in pretty good shape, and I do have the manual, so another one complete. Although I'm already on Donkey Kong 3, and I did not even enter in Donkey Kong 2. So let's add this to the collection. Game box manual. Normal wear. Manual is very worn. And now Donkey Kong Country 3. Add it to the collection. Game box manual. And I'll write normal wear. All in all, it's pretty good. But some creases. And yes, Zentron, everybody loves a good sugar packet story. Alright, next one up is Earth Defense Force. Let's submit this one. Still have a stamp collection from when you were a kid. Wonder if they're worth billions now. Hey, you never know. I don't know about billions. That might be shooting for the moon. I mean, outside of games, I mean, yes, I collect a lot of game paraphernalia as well. Since you did, I believe you were here when I did the tour. I mean, obviously, I collect a lot of, you know, artwork, some toys, obviously games. When I was young, I used to collect lighthouses, but it was more of I was told to collect lighthouses because it's like a family member gave me a lighthouse and then they continued giving me lighthouses each like Christmas or birthday. So they kind of created a collection for me. Yeah, you recognize Flat Eric. Exactly. I almost put on Mr. Oizo earlier in honor of Flat Eric. Manual. Game, still in plastic. $3.50, okay. Game with case. Game is all in great shape. Manual's in great shape. Box in great shape. I wouldn't be against putting this as no blemishes. You might have to do a little bit better than 350 Yahtzee. With what I've got so far, and I'm not even halfway through, we're over 16,000 in gaming paraphernalia here. So you're gonna have to step it up a little bit. Hey, TurboGrafx, how's it going, man? Now, how do I collect lighthouses? They're little like models. They're like small, and they're lighthouses from around the United States or around the world. I mean, they were cool. They're a nice little thing. Look good on a shelf. Game box manual. I'm gonna put no blemishes. Look that good. TurboGrafx, you've already missed me putting a few of your old games into the system. All right, one thing I'm going to do real quick because I kind of forgot to do it earlier. So we're going to scroll back up here. I'm going to go back to the NES, and I'm going to sort by systems so I can make sure I get the systems in there. NES Classic Edition. Oh, they've got the little NES Classic in there. That's ridiculous. NES Console. Add that to the collection. Console. I don't have a box or manual for the original NES. I don't think I do. No, I don't think I do. Normal wear, but I've got it. And then I do have a top loader. Console, normal wear. Okay. And we'll do the Super Nintendo real quick so I don't forget. I don't have a mini, but I do have a Super Nintendo, and I do have it complete in box. No blemishes. It was so ridiculously good looking. It blew my mind. Super fresh. You're playing... Oh, can I guess? Or no, Turbo should guess. I'm not going to guess. I don't want to ruin it. Next up, Final Fantasy II. Spoilers. Actually, I don't even remember. Final Fantasy II. Which Final Fantasy was this, actually? Manual, map, game. Game's in great shape. Best way is to use SCART cables, Zerto. You can hook it up via SCART, which would be RGB. If you hook it up through a FrameMeister, you can have Super Nintendo looking really good on that type of system. That's a hell of a guess. Guessed Rondo of Blood. You think it only has that, but they do have... You can buy a Super Nintendo SCART cable. It's so here you go. SCART cable, which is going to connect to a FrameMeister, and that's going to connect to your TV and to your Super Nintendo. All cables tested on our yellow Super Famicom. But it will make it look really good. The FrameMeister takes RGB SCART. FrameMeister is a very expensive upscaler, though. So it's not something to do unless you plan on really wanting to go forward with that. So Final Fantasy II, game box manual. I'm going to put no blemishes because it does look really good. You just bought a lot of one. What lot of one, Pac-Man Arcade? And also, how's it going, man? Thanks for joining me here. So Final Fantasy II, check. Next up, Final Fantasy III. This one got the plastic case treatment. Final Fantasy II is worth more than Final Fantasy III complete in box. I would have not guessed that. A typo. Okay. Fair enough. I mean, it's not a very big lot. Alright, so we got a poster. We got ourselves a map. We got a cart in great shape. We got ourselves a nice, huge manual. So everybody's there. Seal that guy back up. Collection. Game box manual. I'm going to put normal wear just because there's a little bit of creasing on the side here and there's a little bit of wear on the manual. Real minor stuff, but you know. You got to be honest with yourself. All right, here we go. Up next, Firepower 2000. This is one that you'll hear Austin talk about. I've seen him play it as well. It's a fun game. Top scrolling shooter. Manual. Game. Game's in great shape. It's a lot of fun, actually. A very fun game. Let's see what Firepower is going for nowadays. $52, not bad, not bad. This one actually is probably worthy of almost saying, basically I'll say no blemishes. It's very good. Good question, Joe. I've probably spent, I did 1-2 sessions there. Let's say I've spent 6 hours so far. So I would guess maybe another 10 hours. Maybe less, maybe 8 to finish everything. But I'm also not moving at like super rapid pace here. I'm kind of taking the time to look at everything and talk about it with you guys a little bit here and there when I've got something to say. I mean, that 8 hours is a little bit on the extended side. All right, next up, Fire Striker. Maybe a lesser known game here. And something good for this crowd. But let's see here. They use the word? No, they don't. But it is kind of like a top-down action screen-based, pinball-based type game. It is pinball-y, pinball-esque, if you will. All right, we got a manual. Got a game. Game's in good shape. And there is a link that comes along with this website to mine, so I'll post the link to my collection on my Twitch page. That way, if anybody wants to look through and make any requests, hey, can you stream this or stream that? You did miss some of the NES. I did 3 hours worth of cataloging earlier today, and I finished up the NES. Cobra Triangle, I do not have Cobra Triangle on the NES. I do have the ability to play it on Rare Replay on the Xbox One, though. You got 15 CRT 13-inch TVs at Goodwill for $20 a few years ago. 15 TVs. Holy crap. Like $20 each or $20 total? By the way, the next game is Ken Griffey Jr.'s Major League Baseball. Quick note about Ken Griffey Jr.'s Major League Baseball is that not only do I have that, but I also have another copy here in this sweet Blockbuster case that I got from Blockbuster. The games had green cases like this, so that you knew they were games. And it's got the game inside. And as much as I've always thought about getting rid of this copy, I kind of like the idea of having a Blockbuster original case around. Nope. Hey, not a mod. How's it going? I got it from Blockbuster Video. Says it all over the place on it. Free inside collector baseball card. I don't know if I have that in here, to be perfectly honest. I really did enjoy Ken Griffey's Major League Baseball. Part of the big thing for me was that it would let you rename your guys. They didn't really have the MLB license to put all the real names on here. There's a little bit of smuts on the back of that. But you could rename them. And all the guys kind of still fit the players of back in the day. Also got the manual. And so I'd go through and I'd rename the characters on the Tigers to be the Tigers of that day, which was great because I got to play with those characters. And when you played a season, it would keep track of your stats. As silly as that sounds, back then that was really awesome and not something that you saw all the time. Ken Griffey Jr.'s Major League Baseball. Game box manual. I'll put normal wear. Although it's really in better shape. It's in better shape than normal wear, but I'll put it in normal wear. For all they had to get so you're just clearing them out, doing them a favor. Did you have place for that? District manager of 3 stores at Blockbuster Video. Interesting. And we did have Hollywood Video where I grew up as well, so I do know who that is. This half of the state. What don't you do, Joe Shorts? I think that's a more important question. You certainly seem to do everything. This is a good song. Alright, up next, Killer Instinct. Killer Cuts music CD included inside. Actually, it isn't, unfortunately. And I don't even have the manual for this. So this is just box game in black cartridge. I am finding a lot of boxed games where I'm missing the manuals. And I kind of am going to want to go back through that Your game room is 2,000 square feet. That is a lot of square feet. Is it a basement? Or is that a... What are you... Is that an... That's like an entire house. That's a little bit more than a game room. It's like a game floor. Although, I kind of have a game floor here, so... Game box, no manual, sad. Normal wear, though. Corporate shutdown. We didn't close the last store till April of last year. Holy crap. Basement. Okay. That sounds about right. I understand that. That's a lot of room, Pac-Man Arcade. You got yourself a lot of space. Alright, next up. King Arthur's World. Another game that utilizes the Super NES mouse. Game, manual. Manual could be in better shape, held together by a nice tape binding. But it's here. Technically. Someone was definitely writing on the inside of it. Alright, it's all there, technically. King Arthur's World. This is a fun game, though. I remember renting this growing up, and I remember it being fun. Just because it's kind of like, what would you say? I mean, it was kind of like an old school RTS. Side-scrolling RTS, if you will. Where you get to control your guys from the bottom. It's almost like Lemmings, but with dudes that can attack. It was cute and fun. Definitely normal wear. We'll call it torn label just because it's torn manual. The only man on earth couldn't enjoy Tom Cruise. Here, I will say this. This is stupid. So, as little as this is, you know, you have your box like this. Standard. I put it up on the shelf, and then this is the side you see. It's facing in that direction. Everything's A-okay. Then you take King Arthur's World, mind you. And they have the text on King Arthur's World box going the opposite way. Talk about OCD driving me nuts on that one. Hey, Pac-Man Arcade. TurboGrafx, I've always wanted to. It's a long task, and I figured it would be more fun to do it as a stream than it would be to doing it just alone. So I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me while we do this. Pac-Man Arcade, good question. Right now I'm probably, let's see. We got that one in. We're up to 520 games entered, or items, I should say, entered so far. And I would say maybe once I'm done with this shelf that I'm maybe halfway through. So we still got a little ways to go. So next up, got to have a copy of this. Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. This box is in fantastic shape, by the way. I really should have a plastic cover around this. But I do have all the goodies in here. We got the poster. We got a map. We got manual. And obviously the game itself. Some more thing. I think it's supposed to also have... I can't remember if there was a tips and tricks in this, or was it in the N64? I want to say there might have been a tips and tricks. You're still going on yours? You're up to 600 so far? What are you, I don't know if they still have promotional material. What is Zelda? Nice, Scribble. I'm gonna act like you don't actually mean what you're saying there. And I like that Joe Shorts decided to agree with you. Unless he was agreeing with TurboGrafx. I don't know if they have so much promotional material anymore. It depends what you mean by promotional. If you're talking about like the Star Fox competition cart, if you're talking like that, then yeah, they should have the Star Fox not for resale right there. Star Fox Super Weekend Competition. They've got stuff like that. This is going to be under L probably for Legend. It's not. Okay, let's try the. Oh, don't tell me it's under Zelda for Link. Zelda Link to the Past, you son of a... I'm going to put no blemishes because it's in really good shape. I have 15 systems and pins and few arcade games. No paperwork or displays. Not that I'm aware of, Turbo. Not that I'm aware of. Pac-Man Arcade, what are you using to document your or catalog your stuff? I've looked at a lot of different cataloging sites or programs, and I finally decided on going with price charting. Part of the reason is it's easy to access on my phone. That was a big thing. I want to be able to access it on the go. And another thing was I love the fact that price charting's pricing melds directly into this. That's another cool thing. June 25th, 26th, which is Sunday and Monday night. I don't see why we couldn't make something work out with that. Triad. Just keep me in the loop as it gets closer. You got my number, so we can just talk. And we'll make sure I don't forget, because I'll guarantee I usually forget things as far as timing like that. Okay, so that one's in. Up next, I've got The Magical Quest, starring Mickey Mouse. Is this under Magical? Sure is. Alright, I've got the box. I don't know if I've got the manual. I don't think I do. I do not. Just box and game. Box is a little rough, but the game's in good shape. Collector Z. Okay, I think I checked that one out. Obviously, putting your... when you have as many games as you do or I do, putting your games into a catalog of some kind is such a task. Like, I started doing it with another one, and I only got a little ways in, and I'm like, this is just a pain in the ass to do. It just wasn't convenient, and it took way too long. So I kind of stopped with that one. I think I tried maybe, and then I kept looking around trying to find the right one for me, and I just never found the right thing. But I feel good about the price charting one. That's why I finally decided I'm going to do it. Normalware. Say NES composite AV receiver with upscaler setup would put the same quality. I don't think so. I would say no. Definitely not, Zerdo. Definitely not. Save a Hot Shots Golf. What system? Zerdo, if you were to see what you can... go to... Here. Zerdo, let's do this. We're doing this. Go do this, My Life in Gaming. You're going to type them in, and you're going to go check them out. They have a YouTube channel. These two guys here, they are really knowledgeable about everything you want to know the source place to go if you want to know about making any retro system look the best it can look. They will go through it all with you. They will give you video comparisons between everything, to the point where most of the things they talk about, I can't see it myself, but they can, and some people can. But you know, this is, if you want to know about upscalers and anything retro, this is the place to go. They will have direct videos for most things. So if we went to playlists, actually videos, I mean, you'll find it for the Super Nintendo specifically. I'm sure it's in here somewhere. But they've got a lot of videos out there. Like how to make the most out of your GameCube. Just tons of videos all about that type of stuff. Check them out. Definitely worth your time, man. Yeah, I'm kind of in the same way, Pac-Man Arcade. The last thing I'd want is, and the thought crossed my mind, and obviously you hope it doesn't happen to you, but who knows what could happen. Fire breams through the house. I would honestly, there's no way I'd be able to get back everything I've got here, because I really don't know. Having that knowledge would be great. I wouldn't be surprised if at the time I'm all said and done, I go back and I change my renter's insurance value. So, not a problem, Zerdo, not a problem. That's what we're here for. Next up, Lemmings. This is one from my youth. Had this all the way through. Another game that uses the, I want to say it does use the NES mouse, even though I don't know if it actually says on the box that it supports it. But I've got all the materials here. Join the Nintendo Club. Game's in great shape. Manual's in great shape. Everybody's in great shape. You have a closet, no idea what's in it all. I can barely keep the door shut. I completely understand. Mega Man X2 6300. I mean, maybe there was a sale where somebody, there was a Mega Man 1 on NES sealed, sold for this amount-ish. I wouldn't be surprised if this is all from the same person. X2 and X3 sold, maybe sealed. The problem with sealed is, if you're paying a ton, it's almost like, at some point, you gotta ask, okay, how do you know it's actually really sealed? It comes down to the trust of the person you're buying it from. Because anybody can reseal a game, and unless you plan on opening it to see that it's actually as pristine as a sealed game would be, you would never know because you'd be breaking that seal. So, I mean, somebody with way more money than they need could easily just fake anybody out on that. Alright, we got Lemmings. Game box manual. I'm going to put no blemishes. It's crisp. Ultima 5 big box earlier. Have a PC Lemmings big box still. Awesome. Play some HSG. HSG. I'm trying to think. What's HSG? Help me out here, Scribble. Hot Shots Golf. Okay, yeah. Thank you. Triad. I do have Hot Shots on PlayStation 3. And PS Vita. I mean, I do have... It's all about collecting sealed games. I mean, I have a few sealed games. I have some sealed games just because I never actually opened them. That's the main reason. But I have bought a sealed game before. I bought a sealed copy of Killer 7. But... these aren't games that are... that's not a game that's, like, retardedly expensive. I'm a big fan of the game, and I thought it would be nice to have a collectible, sealed version of it. Alright, next up is Mega Man X. It's not so much bragging rights. I mean, I'm not bragging to anybody that I got a sealed copy of Killer 7, but it's, you know, you got to have that right connection with the game that would make you want to have a sealed copy of it. Everybody's Golf Series. I don't know if we had Everybody's Golf Series here. Do I have Rock and Roll Racing? Should I spoil it already, Yahtzee, or do you want me to make you wait until we get to the R's? But I do like golf games in general. I really like... I don't know about golf with friends. I never played golf with friends. I really, really like the Mario Golf series. I thought that was really well done. Mega Man X. He's in good shape. Still in a little plastic slip here. Manual. He's here too. It always upset me that the manual was black and white. I thought that was pretty cheap for the fact that what this game was. They should have had a color manual. Europe name, US name, okay. Gotcha. I collect for systems that I own. So it could be, I own a lot of different systems, but I kind of have a rule that I basically only would collect games that I would want to play. That's the goal I try to stay on. Because otherwise you just collect too much. Game box manual, no blemishes. There's plenty of systems I don't own. I don't have a CDI. I've always kind of wanted a CDI, even though there's really not a lot. There's only one game I'd get on the CDI, and that's Burn Cycle. I'm not sure what else I'd get. But that's kind of the fun of getting a new system, is that you can explore what they have. Unfortunately, I've already investigated the CDI quite a bit in the past, and Burn Cycle still stands to be one of the only games I'd get. I don't have a Neo Geo. I had a chance to get one. It's a very, very expensive system to collect for. And to be perfectly honest, with as many I don't need to spend that much to have a Neo Geo. That's a little bit too deep. Especially when there's ways to get and play those games that aren't downloading ROMs. Like, I don't have a VIC-20, although I could go get one. There's one at the local store. I used to have an Odyssey 2. I don't anymore. I've had Intellivision. I've had ColecoVision. It's like, I'm not really playing them, though. So, if I'm not going to play it, if I don't see myself ever really playing it, I don't really want it. I don't have a Wonder Swan. What do we got here? Alright. CDI Zelda, it's like, I could watch a million videos of other people already playing that, and it's a bad game. So I really don't need to be playing that. Alright, next up is Mega Man X2. And this box is actually extremely nice. Manual is in okay shape. It's got a little ding there, but very minor. Cart's in good shape. But the box is really, really nice. AVS Neo Geo. Yeah, the Neo Geo stuff is just huge. I mean, I started to, like, when I wasn't, like, if it wasn't for pinball machines, I would have gone more and more nuts with, you know, console games. And then when I wasn't doing, when my pinball machine collection kind of flattened for a while and I hadn't been doing anything with that, then my video game collection spiked. And, you know, it was flopping back and forth between one or the other. Not the type of thing where I can do both at the same time. Game box manual. I'm going to put normal wear just because manual is slightly worn. The box is amazing though. Super nice. Alright, so here's another Time Walk ROM game. Mega Man and Bass, or Bass. Mega Man and Bass. I don't know which way you're supposed to say it, to be honest. If somebody got that knowledge, let me know. This was before Time Walk got taken down, and then everybody started reproing whatever they wanted, so kind of a shame that they got knocked out of the system. Because they really took a lot of time and effort in what they were doing, because they'd make full manuals, the boxes, it was good quality. I was very happy with them. And now, since kind of other people and all figured out how to do it, it feels a little bit more... It doesn't feel like it's got that personal flair touch that it used to. But yeah, Mega Man and Bass isn't going to be here. I also don't have Turbo Duo. Box is pretty mini. See, there you go. But I do have a boxed copy of Mega Man Soccer. Everybody's favorite. Holy crap. When did Mega Man Soccer want to cost that much? It did not cost that much the last time I saw this. But I do have the manual. Cart's in good shape. I have no idea what PCFX is. I tried playing this again after I picked it up, and it's just not great. Put normal wear. There's a little scratch on the back. Other than that, it's great. Mega Man Soccer should not be that expensive. So, I don't have Mega Man X3. I never ended up picking one up, which sucked. I missed out back when it was $300. Now it's just paying $400 for a game that I've got in a compilation otherwise just to own it is a little bit painful. And I just have never been able to do it. And then the cart's so expensive by itself that it's so tough to know if you're actually buying a real cart or somebody's repro stuff and you're getting ripped off because of it. There's too many repros out there now that it makes it scary to buy expensive games unless you know you're buying them from a very good source. Like TurboGrafx. Alright, up next. Out of This World. It's a dangerous hobby to get into, Zerto. It's a dangerous hobby. I'm going to click over to here real quick because I'm going to change the music. We've gone through. Any requests for genres out there? I'm open. Otherwise, I'm going to just pick something. I think I'll know what I'll do if nobody has any requests. Vaporwave. I have no idea what that is. Is that supposed to be something else or a genre of music? I'll put this on for now. I don't know what that genre is. Maybe this is Vaporwave. You let me know. So yeah, out of this world. Highest rated game ever. Pretty amazing. Well, I did not realize it, but I just have the game no manual with box. Another situation where I probably could want to pick up a manual. How much is Mr. Do worth? It's still worth $50. Game box. Normal wear. I don't have Spotify. I do have 99 Luftballoons though, but I don't have probably the version you're thinking of. Alright, next up, Pilotwings. I've only gone to MagFest, which isn't really a retro gaming convention, to be honest. I haven't been to any, like, only for retro gaming conventions. Manual, games here. Box is missing one tab on the side, but decent enough shape. So this is just a normal wear situation. Pilotwings. Game box manual. Normal wear. Only because I live 20 minutes away in Portland Retro Gaming. Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about Portland Retro Gaming Expo. You bet there are. Zerdo, you bet there are. eFence. Alright, I don't have Spotify, so I can't. But we can probably go to YouTube. Space Flight. eFence. Defense? eFence, Spaceflight, there it is.
Hey Dad, come meet the new guy.
The new guy? What new guy?
Come meet the new
Hired some
guy.
help.
This doesn't sound... Actually, it's funny enough, the music I was playing doesn't sound completely off of what this is. I wouldn't have guessed I was actually going to start music that was this close. Not to say that it was close, but could have been way further off. Oh, we got Pilotwings. Next up, PGA Tour Golf. EA Sports presents. And what's more important about this particular game? Yeah, there's a lot of big YouTubers that go there. Some of them come to MagFest, but I've only met them a little bit. But they tend to be a little busy with their own people that they know, or it comes across that way. So it's kind of feels a little awkward or tough to get time to actually try to meet or talk with them. PGA Tour. Is it under EA Sports Presents? No, there it is. PGA Tour Golf. A whopping $397. Game box manual, no blemishes, crisp. Wave and darker music, I would say not, probably not, but I like, depends what you consider to be darker music. I'm not really a techno-y type person. See, this is nice and mellow. I'm okay with this. But this isn't all that much different than what we were listening to, although what we were listening to is way more 80s, even though it wasn't from the 80s. You know a few personally over the years? Oddly, I've been trying to actually, you know, I'm okay with telling this story a little bit. I've been actually actively doing what I can to get in contact with some of these guys and see if I can persuade them to come to where I live and be a part of the my Saturday pinball stream, or do like a full weekend of pinball streaming, and maybe a little gaming streaming with them. Because I think that taking someone like that who doesn't promote pinball in any way and getting them good hands-on time and experience with pinball would be such an easy sell for them, and would be great to expose their audience to pinball just the same. So I'll go back to where we were. So one thing about PGA Tour Golf, and we'll see if it's actually here. We got to go to accessories. Game Genie. They don't have it, oddly enough. The Super Nintendo mouse, I've definitely got that. Accessory. Normal wear. So there's another accessory. I can't remember the name of it, but I bet I can find it on eBay. And unfortunately, it's really not worth all that much. Probably because it's so unknown. Super SNES Golf accessory. There it is, TV Golf. Oh, now they call it rare. TV Golf. I got this for Christmas one year, growing up. The only video golf game with swing. And it was cool. You got this real club. Well, a club that you swung over a sensor, and it worked with PGA Tour Golf. And I could swing a golf club, and it actually felt like it read it decently enough. I mean, you're talking way back in Super Nintendo days. It was fun. I enjoyed it. Unfortunately, didn't make the cut. Anyway. Hey, Buffalo, how's it going, man? Giving Viking a bath and watching. We'll be lurking. Fantastic. I will set that up right now, Turbo. The tricky part with anybody who's like in that that whole... Jeez, what am I doing? Where's Whisper at? How do I, like, not know how to use this all of a sudden? Holy crap. Don't mind me. I'm just going to leave a window of view open. There we go. That'll remind me. They don't all get along. No, they don't. But I'm not looking to mix and match people that wouldn't get along. Getting any new pins? I did just get an Avatar LE Pac-Man. I still have the long-awaited Star Trek Premium on the way, and I did buy a Batman Dark Knight, which my brother is holding for me. Maybe Zerto. Alright, what's up next? Hubert 3. Complete in box. Here's another one. I got the price tag still on it. Time to see if I made a good investment or not. Or if I made a poor choice. So, This one, not too bad. Nice blurry $34.99 is what I paid for this one, and it came in the plastic sleeve as well. Comes with a poster, some extra stuff, and the manual, and the game, which is in great shape. So everybody's here, looking good. Yep, Paragon is next. It looks like it should be out now, even. So apparently Q*bert 3 has become more desirable out of nowhere. At least for one auction, if nothing more. No blemishes. Alright, up next, one of my favorite Super Nintendo games of all time, Secret of Mana. You have it on PS4, so you gotta wait. Yeah, that's the only problem with the consoles. So I've actually got two posters in here. Manual. Game in great shape. I've got some. I got a lot of good memories of playing Secret of Mana back in the day. All right, how you doing, Secret of Mana? He's holding up. No blemishes. I should probably put a plastic sleeve around this guy and not Q*bert. So here's another Time Walk game, I do believe. And now you can pretty much buy these from anybody. But back then you couldn't. It was the only people that had it. Secret of Mana 2, which was previously only released in Japan. But this is all translated, all on an NES cart, ready to go. And obviously it's not there. But it's got box and manual. I really like that aspect of the collecting. Alright, next up is SimCity. Comes with a manual here, which is missing the cover on it. And game. Game's in good shape. Box is in good shape. You have Shaq Fu. The question is, how many Shaq Fus do you have, Pac-Man Arcade? It's not about having it, it's about how many do you have. So let's go to SimCity here. You know, I don't even know if I knew that they had SimCity 2000. I guess so, on the Super Nintendo. Seems a little weird to think that they had SimCity 2000 on the Super Nintendo. So it's technically complete. We're going to put normal wear. 1. Okay. Now, you may notice that I do not have Shaq Fu here. But I actually should account for it. I've got a collection of Shaq Fus on one area of the shelf back there. Sim Earth for TurboGrafx. Never was any good at it. Sim Earth's a tough one. I never really saw that as a... So I do have Shaq Fu. I've actually got... I think I've got... Let's see what I have. I've got 3 complete boxed Super Nintendo copies of Shaq Fu. I've got 4 Genesis copies. I have 9 loose Super Nintendo copies. 1 Game Gear copy. Actually, strike that. 2 Game Gear copies and 1 Game Boy copy. I guess you could say I collect Shaq Fu's. Game box manual, no blemishes. I don't have a sealed version, though. So, kind of a funny story to me. So, any of you out there know about the fact that I've got the whole Iron Man and gaming thing going on? That related to a website called Screw Attack. I mentioned that before with Stuttering Craig. And I got that in there. Do I have SimCity in there? I just want to make sure I finished up what I was doing. In collection, okay. And they were doing a thing where they would collect and destroy Shaq Fu's, copies of Shaq Fu, to rid the world of Shaq Fu. And every year at MagFest, when they were there, they would actually hold a little impromptu event where they destroyed some copies of Shaq Fu. And then eventually they had people bring in copies of Shaq Fu, and then they destroyed them. And then they eventually stopped doing it because I think they were told to not do that on the hotel property. And every time I would see the guys from Screw Attack, whether it was at SGC, which is their Screw Attack Gaming Convention, which probably won't exist ever again, and and at MagFest or at any other convention, I would always bring them whatever copies of Shaq Fu I had collected up to that point. So I would buy any Shaq Fu's I saw, and I'd give them all over to guys at Screw Attack. And they did one video of actually them blowing up and shooting. They went to a place and they destroyed a whole lot of Shaq Fu's there. Me and my friend Adam both collected Shaq Fu's to give over to him. Adam was my partner in prepping for Iron Man and Games as well, Iron Man and Gaming. And so I eventually kept giving them more and more, and they never made another video. But I think Chad mentioned that he probably had at least 20 or 30 Shaq Fu's still sitting from me, just waiting for their demise. And they never did anything with them, so he's probably still got them all, to be perfectly honest. I've probably bought and given away at least maybe 40 to 50 copies of Shaq Fu to them. And this is what I've got on my own that I have not given away. So I just never stopped collecting Shaq Fu. So if I ever see a Shaq Fu, I pretty much buy it. I have a limit though. I won't pay more than $5 for a Shaq Fu. They used to be 99 cents, which is why I kept buying them, to be perfectly honest. And then they kind of got more popular for whatever reason, and the price went up. And God forbid I will not pay more than $5 for a Shaq Fu loose. So I'm at MagFest last year, and there's a particular vendor that always had a copy of Shaq Fu available. And every time I'd ask them how much, they'd say, it's not for sale. It's not for sale. And they would never sell it to me. Well, last year, I happened to catch him selling 3 copies of Shaq Fu to another guy. And I'm like, hey, I'm interested in Shaq Fu as well. What's going on there? And they were $10 for a loose copy of Shaq Fu, which obviously is double worth what I'd want to pay. And the guy who was buying them, I kid you not, was part of the Save Shaq Fu movement. And he would go around and buy as many copies of Shaq Fu to save them from destruction from other people. And he's like, oh, it's great to meet another collector of Shaq Fu. Never once did I tell them that I am the exact reason he is trying to buy these. And as much as I would have loved to have bought a few of them right from under him, I didn't, because I stuck to my rule of I'm not going to overpay for Shaq Fu. $10 for a loose cart. Just ridiculous. So I let those go. But yeah, it was interesting to actually meet someone currently still going around and buying copies of Shaq Fu to save Shaq Fu. I don't know why. It is not like it's a good game. So there you go. That's my current Shaq Fu story. Up next, Stunt Race FX. I don't even want to think the reaction the guy would have had if he knew how many copies of Shaq Fu have been destroyed on my hands. I like this manual because they made all the cars in the game out of clay and then used those models for like the box art, which the box art is awesome. The manual's got those guys in them too, and it looks great. It's a really, really clean copy, except someone decided to write 398E on the back. Other than that, it's super crisp. Not South Park on PC. No, I can understand South Park. I'm not a fan of destroying games either. But I made an exception for Shaq Fu. Stunt Race FX. Yeah, I mean, I could clean that up. I could clean it up, no problem. That's another day, if you will. Normal wear, writing, marker on back of game. A lot of times what I'll do in this situation is I'll take a game that has little to no value, or much lower value, and I'll just swap the backs on them, usually, as long as the backs are the same. I have no problem doing that. Which, to be honest, a lot of the Shaq Fus that I bought, I reused the backs of the Shaq Fus and saved them for better games. So, I did save part of Shaq Fu, if you will. Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. I've got a copy right here, Pac-Man Arcade, signed by Stuttering Craig from Screw Attack. I also have a boxed copy of All New Punch-Out, which is a reskin, like a ROM hack, if you will, of the original Punch-Out, but all the characters have been modified to be and look completely different. Favor of Destroying Superman 64. Alright, so that one's in. Up next, Super Bomberman 2. This is one I had growing up as well. Game, manual, extra bits. Everybody's there, just like they should be. It's in really good shape too. Super Bomberman 2. Game box manual. I can put no blemishes. It's super crisp. Alright. Next we've got a boxed copy of Super Game Boy. Play Game Boy games in color on your Super Nintendo. Accessory box manual. I'm going to put normal wear. I don't know, this is well above normal wear. Well, better than normal wear. And it's in there. It's in the little plastic case. Manual and stuff is all back here. We're all complete. Mike Tyson's Power Punch 2, nice. I do not have that. Although, to my knowledge, it's supposed to be a terrible game. But feel free to chime in if you have an opinion on that. Thing about Super Nintendo is that full third of the titles start with Super. Yes, they sure do. Trying to figure out the name of a game. And yeah, there you go. Hey, Girl Geek, how's it going? Feels like I haven't seen you in a while. You seem to have magically used to pretty much pop into every time I'd start streaming. And it feels like you haven't been here for a few streams. Which is perfectly okay. But don't think it hasn't gone unnoticed. Alright, we got Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars. Complete in box. Cart is in great shape. Manual. It's in good shape as well. Nice color manual. Nothing super awesome, but it's good. If it wasn't for the box having some creases on the sides, I'd put it as no blemish. But it's just going to have to live as a normal wear. Game box manual. Normal wear. Just started collecting for Vectrex. Nice. I have a decent little Vectrex collection myself. One thing that I have not brought myself to do is to buy a second Vectrex controller. One day I probably will, but they're not cheap. And let's be honest, how often am I going to play Vectrex with more than just myself? It's like those are the parts that are tough. Busy most Saturdays. Last week, Anime Central and their arcade was amazing. Awesome. Only 2 pinball machines, but if you like candy cabs and consoles, it's great. That's cool. Vectrex at a pawn shop recently did 200 for it and was only had 2 games. That's not a bad deal, Joe. I would say that's not a bad deal at all. Candy cabs, if you see Owlnonymous, Namus, he's got 2 candy cabs as well. They're a regularized cabinet. Here we go. Candy cabs. Images. This is not what I was looking for. Arcade. Here we go. Here's a candy cab. So the big appeal here is that it's just a standardized JAMA board that goes in there with standardized controls. And they can swap it out with whatever fighting game, shooting game, beat 'em up they want. And you just keep a very standardized footprint. So, they're very popular in Japan and Asia. Yeah, not the first one, Namus. Alright, we got Super Metroid here up next. Super Metroid. I will say, and it was on here too, I'm sure. Yep. I really did like the whole only for Nintendo corner piece on their title boxes. And I like the one on Super Metroid too. It's like green, slimy a little bit. Yeah, you gotta watch out for that, Joe. You gotta watch out for that. I thought candy cabs, well, we'll call that a learning experience. Luckily, I didn't run across anything that would have been troublesome for my Twitch stream. Alright, manual's all set. We got some, you can get all the free advice you need from Ridley here. Game's in great shape. It's like I wouldn't mind doing a stream of Super Metroid sometime, except that it's such a like heavily speedrun game and popular game in that regard that it doesn't feel like playing it naturally would be something that would be appealing to watch for people, just because people have already seen it and know about it, and everybody, it's like, if you're not doing it as super fast as, you know, lightning speed, it's not worth your time. Or I'm just crazy and I shouldn't be thinking like that. Super Metroid. Game box manual. I'll put normal wear on it, I guess. It's in great shape, though. A little bit of creasing. Alright, I don't have it in here because it's out in the other room. But Super Mario Kart, I have complete in box. That's on my Iron Man and Gaming shelf. Game box manual. I'm going to put normal wear on it. I'm sure it's not perfect. Off to play 6. All right, Pac-Man Arcade, you have a good one, man. Thanks for coming by. Including the ones I've already seen before. Speedruns are so cool, or are cool. It's the knowledge and banner. Yeah, I'd agree. But it is nice to get to have new people come into, and I like the idea of generally playing stuff that people haven't seen before. So that not only can we enjoy a game together, but I can hopefully usually show people something that they haven't played before, which I take pride from. Alright, one I forgot, which is also out there, is Bubsy. Not Brutal Paws of Fury. I've never even heard of that. But Bubsy, we got a complete copy out in the other room. I'll just say normal wear. And then also F-Zero. F-Zero I actually have is sealed. Game box manual, new and sealed. There was a vendor at MagFest a few years ago selling sealed. He had like a few boxes of old sealed F-Zero. And he was selling it for $10 a piece. I mean, of course I'm going to get one. So, I will say this is my favorite 2D platformer of all time, which is Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island. You know what's strange is I don't have a boxed copy of Super Mario World. I should probably fix that. You want someone to play the fireman. You mean this, Zerdo? I actually streamed playing fireman once. So I got you there. You've come to the right place. So let's find Super Mario World. Let's see if it's under S. We'll start there with Super. Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island. There we go. No, it's Yoshi's Island is a manual game. Everybody's here. Great shape as well. I pretty much 100%ed this back in the day when I was playing it. I remember spending, weekend nights just sitting in my bedroom in a dark room playing this and just be blown away by how good this game looked and how great it played. And just getting through all the levels and having the, get all the flowers, get all the red coins, keep Baby Mario with all the star points. Such a great game. I'm gonna put no blemishes. I feel that good about it. I don't think I still have it on Twitch. It would have died in the 30-day or whatever it is. But it's not some I'd definitely be up for streaming again. Alright, so up next, we've got Star Wars Super Empire Strikes Back. Game. manual. Not a problem, man. Well, as soon as I kick back into gear with streaming some more retro-y stuff, I can definitely get in on that, because I need to bust out the Framemeister again. So, Super Star Wars Empire Strikes Back. Where is this going to be? Is it under Super Star Wars? There it is. Game box manual. We'll put normal wear. Box is a little worn. Next is Super Star Wars Return of the Jedi. It's very super. The classic hit available once again is what it says. Alright, we got a manual. We got a game. Game's in good shape. No weirdness. Back in the day, I think they were $60 to $70 based on how big the cart was. I think they actually did charge $70 back then, back in the day. But 50, 60 to 70 was not unusual. 50 used to be the big number, but once carts got bigger, they were more expensive. So any of the collectors out there, maybe you can answer this for me. I've seen a few carts like this, but it always seemed weird to me. So the normal back of a cart is like this on a Super Nintendo. You've got the sticker here, and you've got the molded in Nintendo guy there. But I do run across the occasional cart where they got rid of the sticker, and this isn't completely flat, it's actually got text. The text of the sticker is now molded into the back of the cart, and then the Nintendo logo's there. Are you aware of, is that an official Nintendo, Super Nintendo back of cart? I was never 100% sure about that. I didn't know if it was some sort of weird repro thing, and a few of them got in there. Unless, yeah, I mean, if you're buying it new from a store versus bargain bins. Alright, we need to get to Return of the Jedi. Boom. Game box, manual, normal wear. Alright, almost done with our boxed Super Nintendos. Now this one I'm pretty happy with how crisp it is. Turtles 4, Turtles in Time. The box is retardedly crisp, like brand new crisp. A TI-99, there you go. Crisp manual, game's in great shape. Have a look at the back of you. Get out of there, game. Game's in great shape. I have no problem saying this one is no blemishes. Let's see what Turtles is going for nowadays. Turtles kept going up in price. Complete in box, $133. Keeps going up. No blemishes. 5th or 6th birthday gift. Nice. Pretty much up till Super Nintendo is where these were gifts. I mean, we were never just given stuff. We always had to earn it, whether, I mean, a birthday gift or Christmas gift. Or the occasional, if you get straight A's in school for a report card, we might go out and buy a game to celebrate. And I was perfectly fine with that. But we were never just given games. We would rent games a lot. That's usually how we would play a lot of stuff. Or, you know, you go to a friend's place and they've got it. Now, this is not still sealed. It's cut here, but I guarantee to tell you this is super duper crisp as if it were brand new. Uniracers, one of the best Super Nintendo racing games of all time, and doesn't get nearly the attention it should. I know everything's in here. I'm not even going to bother looking. It's all there. I mean, that was a big thing about buying games is, you know, it wasn't a if you had a game, you know, you definitely played it as much as you could. I'm gonna put New Blemish. I almost should put New and Sealed, but it's not. $50. That's way more than it used to be. I think I bought this particular copy for $10. So I've actually got two copies of Uniracers, I believe. Alright, so now we're into weird repro land, which I'll guarantee none of these are in here. I picked some of these up just because it was weird. Dr. Mario World House Calls. And I've got a box for it. And it's kind of like Super Mario World, but it's not. Yeah, what game was that? Oh, that was Wheel of Fortune. I could feel that it had the heaviness to it that's there. I know it's there. I know it's there. So, Dr. Mario World House Calls. Yeah, that song is going on forever. Hey-oh, somebody's throwing a host my way. It ended as soon as you said that, of course. Double Super Jackpot. Thank you so much for the host, man. So, this is a interesting game. Some repro fun. I also have a copy in box of Star Fox 2, which is way easier to get now than when I actually got this. This was once again a Time Walk game. You can pretty much buy these no problem now, but I will say two things about this. One, I have it in the box with a manual, which is something that a lot of the other guys don't offer, and I really like that about it. And two, you actually had two choices when you bought this from Time Walk. And depending how they reproed it, you could get it with the Doom Kart repro, which has the Super Effects 2 chip, I believe, in Doom, and they utilize that as part of the repro to make the game actually run smoother and or faster. Versus the normal kart that you would get nowadays buying Star Fox 2. So, kind of minor little thing, but it's still cool to know. Jeez. Come on. The hell is that? Oh, jeez. There's a poster in here too that apparently I didn't realize I've been not able to get the manual in because of that. So I'll guarantee, well, I won't guarantee, but most likely it's not there. Star Fox. Yeah, no Star Fox 2. And then I also have a copy of Zero Mission, which is a recreation of the Game Boy Advance game, but on the Super Nintendo. And I'm trying to think if there's any other games out there that I'm not thinking of. Give me 1 second. Let me go look at my Iron Man of Gaming shelf just to make sure if I'm forgetting something. I have no room to sneak past myself here. I knew there was something I was forgetting. It's starting to get a little late. It's actually, it's 11. I had no idea. I don't know if I'll be here that much longer, Zerdo. Tetris Attack. That's another one I forgot that's out on the shelf. I have that complete as well. Game box manual. I'll just put it as normal wear. So Tetris Attack. So that's it for my boxed Super Nintendo games. The next step will be go through the loose Super Nintendo games, which will, I got a few scattered over there next to the Super Nintendo that I'd have to make sure I don't forget about. But that'll be the next task. Let's have a quick look at where we're at. 548. Almost cracked the $19,000 point. Moving right along. Let's see. Do you want me to do one more? I can do one more row of Super Nintendo games or such, and then we might call it a night. Let's do a few Super Nintendo games. So these are all obviously loose. First one up. Oh, jeez. There we go. First one up is Aerobiz. For all your airplane simulation action. Look at that guy. Nothing. As CEO, you call the shots. Everybody wants to play this game. Game's in great shape. No blemishes. Next up is The Adventures of Batman and Robin. Holy crap. When did this game get expensive? Jeez. I do not recall spending anywhere near about that money on this. Complete went way up too, wow. Al Franken. Game. I'm going to put normal wear. There's really a tiny nibbit on the label there. Nothing all that bad, but, you know, gotta be honest. Alright. And then we've got ActRaiser 1. Where are we at? Here we go. ActRaiser 1 should be... These are totally in no particular order here. Here we go. Let me fix that. Alright, ActRaiser 1 game. Game's in great shape. Nothing on the back. We're good. No blemishes. Crate Order from Chaos. Alright. Next up. Oh, here's a repro. Super Back to the Future Part 2, which is actually a repro of a Japanese game that's actually a good Back to the Future game. Most likely not in this list, but we are going to look for it anyway, because sometimes I've been wrong. Well, it's not under B for Back to the Future. How about Super? Is there anything under the word Super? Super Battle Bases? Nope. Alright. So that one doesn't get counted. Batman Returns. Let's see. I still got a sticker on here, but I don't think it was that long ago I bought this. Batman Returns. game. Game's in good shape. No blemishes. Hey, Abe, 12, 15, 16, 526. Who will I pass my collection down to? That's a great question. That I don't know. I would like to think that it's something I may or may not hold on to for a very long time. At some point, I'm sure I'd like to pass it on, hopefully to another person that appreciates collecting physical copies of stuff. But, you know, the real kicker is, you know, say 20, 30 years from now, are there going to be younger people around that this trend would even still be something existing? I have no idea. I'd like to think that there'd still be somebody out there that would appreciate this type of stuff in the future. And at some point, you're probably going to have a lot of people my age that have large collections looking to find something to do with them. But I don't have anybody in particular to pass them down to as of right now, to be perfectly honest. Oh yeah, we got that one in. But that's a great question, Abe. Great question. I mean, to be honest, I'd be very surprised if in 30, 40 years from now, you know, there's people that still really have any interest whatsoever in this type of technology. I'd like to think that wouldn't be true, but with the way things are going nowadays, I mean, if you think about, it hasn't even been 20 years or 40 years since, you know, it's been, what would it be, just a little over 30 years that the NES existed, let alone, you know, another 30 years from now. Who knows? Who knows? I'm just happy that it's still something that I can enjoy and get enjoyment from. So hopefully someday somebody else can too. Battletoads in Battle Maniacs is up next. Just a loose copy, but it's great shape, no blemishes. You know, if I was so lucky, I wouldn't mind someday having a business that allows me to have all this type of stuff available for the public to enjoy in one form or another. That way it can live on beyond me someday. Up next, surprisingly at a lower cost than I'd expect, the Super Nintendo version of Battletoads vs. Double Dragon. Or Battletoads Double Dragon, not versus. I want to say I feel that the NES version was better, but I don't remember as far as graphics. And I say that only because it felt more like the old NES graphics that just kind of had that certain touch to them. Yes, you do, Girl Geek. Chrono Trigger keeps going up and up. And actually, I do have an extra copy of Chrono Trigger as well. Not working, Normalware. We want to put Normalware on that one. Alright, next up is Bubsy 2. And I missed again. Bugs Bunny's Rabbit Rampage. That is not what I was trying to click. Bubsy 2. Just the game. No blemishes. She's a purdy. Add item. Alright. Next up is Captain America and the Avengers. Game, and I have no issues with this one. Last one in this half of the stack. Ooh. Actually, if you were here earlier during the Mega Man portion, when I was going through my Mega Man games and on the boxed games for the NES, there's a lot of talk about Captain Commando. I also have a Captain Commando manual, but no box. No box. Captain Commando is a little bit more of a rare, more expensive one. Wouldn't mind getting the box for it since I'm this close. I'm going to put no blemishes because the cart's in great shape and the manual's also in great shape. And it's a fun game. Alright, so this stack is done. Slide that back in there. Alright, we are back at the beginning of this turn-based mech game. No, Chrono Trigger was a like real-time action RPG, if you will. A lot like Secret of Mana, but heavier story. Alright, up next is Super Castlevania 4. So is it under Castlevania 4 or Super Castlevania 4? It's probably under Super. This is one I wouldn't have minded having the box for. I had a chance at it in the past, but I ended up passing or missing out on. I can't remember. Secret of Mana is definitely is my favorite RPG of all time, bar none. All right, next one up. Choplifter 3. Rescue Survive. Let's get back up to C's here. Yes. And we missed. Come on, click it. There we go. Game looks good. No blemishes. Wise. However you want to pronounce that. Well, you picked the two craziest ones to be missing, Drogeek. But here we go. I've got a extra copy of Chrono Trigger. I remember at MagFest there was a panel I was at, and at the end of the panel there was a guy that was trying to like sell off some games that he had in order to help fund something. I have no idea what it was. And he had a copy of Chrono Trigger, and I already had a complete copy, so I can't enter this again. But he was selling it. I bought it for $50. Now it's over $100. Here's another one that it took me a long time to finally get a copy of. Comba Tribes. The Comba Tribes. Side-scrolling beat 'em up. I wonder if it's under T for the. Looks like it is. A little bit more of an uncommon game, but fun. Front Mission turn-based mech game. Or, not Super Combat Tribes. This is just regular Combat Tribes. Nice, Namus. Alright, next one up. Another more uncommon one. Demon's Crest. My Super Nintendo collection definitely has a handful of more expensive games in it. Not Demolition Man. Demon's Crest. Game is in great shape. RPG's real heavy during the PS1 era. Copy was my cousin's for the longest time. Really, I thought Locke was Gabe because of how he named characters. My only problem I had with most JRPGs, or just RPGs in general, is just how much time is required in order to play them. So here we go, finally hitting up Earthworm Jim. Groovy. This is one I wouldn't mind having the box for, to be honest. Game, no blemishes. MDK, not the first one, but I've played MDK 2. I have MDK 2 on PC, and I might have it on Dreamcast as well. Earthworm Jim 2, of course. Earthworm Jim is a series that, unfortunately, to my knowledge and recollection, is a game that didn't age well. I loved it growing up. I love the character. I love the game itself. I love the humor. But, unfortunately, it doesn't quite match what you would remember. Never played 2. This one. Oh, here we go. I even got in a little case, guy. Copy of Earthbound. And my Earthbound is in good shape as well. No blemishes. So it's a pretty expensive stack of games going on here, to be perfectly honest. Here's another one. EVO, Search for Eden. Evo. Wish I would have bought. It's funny. I was at a store, and I saw they had a copy of Evo, and I'm like, oh, I want to get it. But it was $79.99, and I'm like, that's a little much. And then on the way home, I stopped at another store, and one that I preferred and frequented more often, and they also had a copy of Evo, $69.99, and I picked it up, and that's this one I got here. It would have probably behooved me to pick up both copies, but, who knew? Who knew? $8 for Earthbound. It's your brother, so it's not here, but I love playing that game. Well, little did she know she made one fantastic purchase. No blemishes. The stack I've got going on here for just this one line is probably over $1,000 at this point. And then I've got another extra copy of F-Zero. This would be the one that I probably use training for the Iron Man of Gaming, since the other copy I have is sealed, and that one would be what I've got in there already, so I can't add F-Zero again. Alright,